Well, hello everyone. I hope everyone's doing well, and I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. We didn't have a very good Thanksgiving, and it's just normal for well, we don't have kids or anything, and it's just the two of us, so we don't really do much. Well, it's a day off, and it's a time that we get to spend together because of how much she works. So what we had happen was our boxer Winifred. She's had problems. She's had cancer. We got her knee fixed. She's had a rough life. Her 10 years on this with us, it's been rough, but we would do anything for her. She was our everything. She was the best dog or companion that we have ever had. I've loved all my other companions, but there was just something special about Winifred. Or maybe it was the breed. Maybe the fact that boxers are just so different. So back on the 5th of November, she started not feeling well. We could tell. She just wasn't herself. And we had gone up to the UP for a couple of days, and she hadn't been feeling well or just acting different ever since that too. We started to notice blood in her urine. So we made an appointment for the vet, got in a few days later, and they said that she had a urinary tract infection. So they gave us some medicine to take care of that. And she was starting to do a little bit better. She was acting herself a little bit more bouncy, and wanting to have fun. And well, that following Monday, she started to act different again, and she was just different. She wasn't herself. So we had some concerns. We talked to the vet, and they said, well, her blood work came back, and nothing looks too bad, or everything was normal parameters. And they had a follow-up to see how the medicine was doing. So we decided just to wait for the follow-up. Well, she never made it to follow-up. She just progressively got worse. Just not acting herself. The urinary tract looked like it was clearing up, but she just wasn't herself anymore. We decided then we called the vet, and they couldn't get us in for a few days. And they just said, it's 4 days away. Why not just wait for the follow-up? Okay. And the Monday before Thanksgiving, she was just sleeping, drinking a lot of water, not wanting to eat much. We always called her our little shop vac because of the way she, you put the food down and she would just, And the other one, our border collie, is so dainty with everything. She takes one or two pieces of kibble and chews it, and, just totally different, and just no competition for food. She just always was a gobbler for some reason. I don't know. It was just a funny thing about her. She gobbled her food no matter what we tried to do. We got different bowls to try and slow her down so she wouldn't, eat her food so fast, and she would just always just figure out a way. Well, that Monday, she just got worse. Well, we didn't get any sleep that Monday night. She was up all night long pacing. She'd lay down, she'd get back up, pace. Lay down, get back up, pace. Or just stand. And then she would be wobbly. Well, finally about 6 a.m., she fell asleep and slept. So I was able to take a cat nap. My bride, she was exhausted. She didn't get much sleep either, but I didn't bother her every time I stayed up and watched Winifred. She has to go to work. She had to work a long day. Well, in the morning, Winifred woke up around 9:30. I let her out. She had a hard time walking. She didn't want to get up. I had to coax her a little bit, and she drank some water. Didn't want to eat any brekkie. Went outside, did her business, came in, and now she hadn't wanted to get up on the furniture for a couple of days. She was laying in a bed that we have that they very seldom ever used, but she wanted to lay in the bed. So she was laying in the bed, and she just started like whimpering, and it was just really upsetting to me. I called my bride. She's like, well, let's see if we can get her in. So I called the vet. They said, well, you can bring her in, drop her off, and we can get to her. We don't have any, but in between we can get to her monitor. Now, we were getting ready to leave, and Winifred collapsed. Well, my bride was on her way home. She got home. Winifred was able to get up. We got her outside. She did a little bit of business real quick. And we got her into the Explorer and headed for the vet. And she actually seemed to perk up a little bit. Now, when we got to the vet, well, we were on the way to the vet, and we called and said what happened. And they're like, okay, you need to take her to the animal hospital in town, because it sounds like she needs more care than we can give her, and we can't give her immediate attention. So they said, well, we'll call the animal hospital, let them know you're on her way, what's going on. We'll transfer some things to them so they understand what she's been treating for and some of her history. And we'll, and so just contact them and let them know how long you're gonna. So we called them, and I said, well, I'm about an hour out. Well, we got to the hospital, and she was actually walking around. It was, it was like, wow, okay, she's feeling better, but we still wanted her checked out. Well, that didn't last very long. She started to go downhill. They went to do some x-rays to find out some things, because they were looking at her back, and as the doctor palpitated her back, he saw there's something going on, maybe some arthritis, so we want to, check it out. And when they came back from doing the x-rays, she came in the room and she collapsed and started convulsing almost, or it looked like convulsions, and then it went away. She was kicking her legs, and we had to move her over to the floor where a blanket was, because we didn't want her laying on the cold floor. Doctor came back in. He came back in with an ultrasound machine and did an ultrasound of her heart. And the sac around her heart was filled with fluid, and it was round. And he said, well, it's not supposed to be round. Oh, it's putting a lot of pressure on her heart. Boxers have this pulmonary, I'm going to say it wrong. I think it wasn't pulmonary edema. It was pulmonary something. And boxers are known for it. She was at the age. She has pancreatitis. She had other problems, surgeries. Just had a lot happen to her growing up. So we asked, he's like, I can drain the fluid. She'll be fine, but I don't know how long. She could be fine the rest of the day. She could be fine for a week. She could be fine for a month. Right now, I don't give her making it to Thanksgiving. But if I drain this, it might and it might not. Okay, so the next question is, how much pain is she under? Well, they never want to tell you the dog's under a lot of pain for some reason. I don't understand why. But she had to be under pain. So we made a decision so we weren't selfish. So she crossed the Rainbow Bridge. It was a hard decision. We've had her for 10 years, and I've been sick for almost 5, and she's been, along with Sig, a constant companion for me. And she loved her mom. So it's strange, to some people. I have a hard time talking about it or saying anything to anybody because people don't understand. Well, it was just a dog. Well, we don't have children, and those are our girls. And when you're around something 24/7, you get pretty attached to it, and you get to, she was always there to comfort me when I had bad days and I wasn't feeling well. Both of them were. But Winifred was Winnie was such a different spirit. Or the breed. Boxers are amazing companions. She was a companion, a comfort, just a lot of things. So it's hard talking about her, and it's already been, today's December 5th. It was the 24th. November 24th we did all this, so it's just hard talking about it still. I miss her. Sig misses her, but I think Sig's doing better. That was just that was our bad news. We lost a loving companion. And somebody that wants to climb up my rear end here, and I don't want them to. I guess they're going to have to go around me. So that's our bad news. We're moving on. Some people, like I said, as silly as it is, I've watched other YouTubers and some off-grid people that have lost a pet that I consider to them a pet, because they didn't. We treat our companions a lot different. We don't refer to them as just our dog or our pet. They're more to us. And like I said, some people find that funny, but that's just the way it is with us, because possibly because we don't have children. So, as somebody said and made a comment, I say so too many times. That's our bad news. Moving on. It's just it's always in the back of your mind, and the house is quiet. Things just aren't the same without her around. She was our little happy girl, funny girl, I used to call her, and she was boisterous. She yawned. You always knew she was in the house because we always knew where she was. She was just clowning around or making some type of noise. So I don't know how to post pictures or any videos of her on what I'm doing right now. So what I'm going to do is just post some separate things. There is one where we always called it Boxer Lovin', because every time she saw her mom, she would hump her mom's leg. And it didn't matter if mom was gone 10 minutes or a day. It was always the same excitement when mom came home. She was just so happy to see her mom. And it's hard it was hard because of the 26th was my bride's birthday, and that's the day I had given her to Winifred. I had given her Winifred. So the 26th was a hard day for her and me. So sorry for the long-winded, but you know, I'm sure everyone has had loss in their lives, and everyone takes everything different. I've had loss in my life too, family members, and you know, people that I was sad that they were gone. And when I lost my parents, I still miss my parents. But just there's something about her. Just like Sig's different. Sig, you don't even know she's there half the time. She is just so laid back and eager to please. It's sad to say, but I've almost forgotten about Sig a few times since Winifred's been gone, because she just lays down. She doesn't get up and say, hey, feed me. Hey, I need to go to the bathroom. When she's got to go real bad, she'll get up and she'll go to the back door. It's like, oh, crap. Or I'll look at my phone or something, or the clock, and I'll go, holy smokes, it's noon and I haven't even given you brekkie yet. Oh my goodness, what a bad dad I am. Because first thing when you get up is Winnie would be like, yep, she'd start barking at you, looking at you, lead you into the kitchen and stand by her dish, or she'd go and sit in the kitchen and wait by her dish. I'm like, oh, well, the Queenie wants to get fed. Oh. Anyway, thanks, and I'm going to get back to some of the things. I've done some oil changes and stuff, and I'm going to start talking about them, and I've switched a few things, so just wanted to let everybody know. So, take care. I hope you're doing well. Subscribe and like, please, and we'll see you soon.